All right, folks, good afternoon and welcome on back here this Friday to wrap up our week here. Donald getting a tough win right now on NERV. Great to see Donald, great to see Leda, Andre, and all of us live inside the Cybergroup room. And Ola, great to see all of us back on social media, Facebook Live and YouTube as well. Folks, it's been quite the interesting day. We ended up having Powell have his press conference right at 10 o'clock Eastern time. And then from there, the markets have only been sinking. So it's been a short day to say the least. No pun intended with that. But with that in mind, folks, we have a lot of interesting trades here to wrap up our week heading into the market close today. For right now, BBBY on the screen to begin. Bed Bath Beyond. It's just one that we've had our eye on forever, right? The last week or two nonstop. I think Rich just made a call out inside the trading room earlier, just mentioning the resistance off 11. So perhaps if you're looking for the squeeze up off 11, it's got to make a pretty big move off that level, right? When a stock breaks through a big level, you should see a big move shortly after. Well, we're starting to see a big move, just not in the direction that we're looking for on Bobby J, at least. For right now, I'm going to pass on this stock right now. It's going to be hard to anticipate any long opportunity with the way the markets have been looking lately here. So what we'll do is go from top to bottom. Not every stock's dropping off the market, but a lot more than less. And with that, NERV was one of the few that ended up going completely against the grain here today. Ended up making this big pop, rebreak, I should say, above resistance off of 7. It was a tough level to begin with and had a nice little pop just before here, but ended up dying off. It pulled back under the level. And to be transparent, for a Friday after this already ran from even $3 or just over 3 from the beginning of this week, well, how much more could this damn stock run, right? To go from 3 to 7 alone in a few days, that's incredible. I don't think I don't think this out of any one of us individually, but if you're inside our live trading room day over day, week over week, you tend to get spoiled with seeing how much a stock can move across a singular trading session. So don't get it twisted. A 200% move, 250% move over a week is pretty darn impressive, right? Well, with that, it didn't stop, or it didn't stop. It only continued. It rebroke above resistance off of 7. It's been a long week. And with that, ended up only continuing to squeeze up to damn near 10 plus. Well, for as much as it ran, you would assume a psychological level, certainly a decade number level like 10 would be very important to watch going forward. And with that, it's only been holding perfectly since. So listen, NERV, I'll put this on our list once more. Maybe there's a chance to where this makes the Fausto flag, makes another higher low here, and then makes the retest of 10 up top. That's certainly possible. So with that, I'll put it on our list. It also wouldn't shock me if this ends up completely dumping off from this point. If it does by the end of this meeting, we'll see where it is. But, for right now, I'll keep this on our watch list for right now. Now, another stock that ended up making a big move from today, we'll just go from top to bottom here briefly. We had the OLB, I reckon, up 41%. Little pop here after the market opened up. Fausto had called this one out pretty early after the open, so we weren't late to this one. We were able to take full advantage of this squeeze up initially on the OLB. But it was the FTCH stock. This one ended up making the bigger move in pre-market heading into the open. It ended up beginning to break above resistance at the time, if I'm not mistaken, right off of 1170, I think that is. Right before the market opened up there, it ended up popping above resistance. And then from there, it only continued to move up later on. So off the re-break from 12, this ended up making a pretty strong squeeze up towards nearly 13 at the time. And then obviously now, making lower highs and pulling back down towards that 12 level again. You'd hope to see support hold, but looks like it already pulled back there once earlier today and held. So even if it does hold here, I'd be more expecting for it to just be exhausted at this point, this far-fetched stock. So for right now, I'll keep it on our side list. Maybe by the end of this meeting, I'll come back to it if it ends up showing strength off the 12 here soon. All right, we'll keep it going, folks. The YSG stock will be pretty quick, actually, as we go through this meeting. But YSG ended up making a nice pop midday. This one caught me by surprise. I ended up finding this when it was already up at 140. So I didn't want to chase it. I wanted to see support build. But to be honest, I ended up taking my eyes off it after. So it looks like support did build. Could have squeezed up, but failed to really make the higher high off of the resistance there off of 150. Yeah, ENSV, EB, EVBG. Getting my letters already mixed up there trying to make that joke. So with saying that, EVBG ended up making a squeeze up here before, but paper thin order book for a $41 stock. So I'm not nearly as interested in that at this point. Not as interested in this at 16-cent stock either. All right. All right, we'll keep it going. See what else we got here across the gainer side. Probably not as much on a day like today. If anything, there's going to be these ETFs like SOXS, Inverse Semiconductor ETF, I believe triple leveraged, if I'm not mistaken. At least this has a liquid order book, but it's an ETF. So unless if you have level 4, I would not be suggesting for anyone to actively be day trading the ETFs. If you have level 4, that's a different story. At least you're able to use the order book a lot better to your advantage compared to just reading level 3. But with that, out of the ETFs, we do tend to trade UVXY a little bit more. They're different. SQQQ is a specific ETF towards the semiconductor sector. UVXY follows the VIX index. So where you tend to see the markets drop off, oftentimes, like predominantly, UVXY will make the inverse move. So it's saying that markets at the lows, UVXY at the highs. On days like today, I'll at least put one ETF on our list, and it'll be that UVXY trade. All right. Well, we did have the Chinese stocks make a really big move today from the market open, and damn, this TAL is still holding pretty strong here. In fact, right off the 6th level. So let me just jump around now to some of the other like Chinese stocks that we've been trading of late. The Chinese education companies, alongside TAL, there's EDU. That's not looking nearly as good. GOTU, same to be said there. All right. NEO had a pop in pre-market at 8 o'clock, but only after the open that ended up dumping off. So that doesn't appear like that good of a day trade at this point. I assume the rest of them are going to look like this, kind of slumping off here. I don't know what's going on with TAL, whether it's earnings or company-specific news. I'll tell you what, folks, don't look for me. Don't waste your time even. We don't need to know that at this point. For right now, this is at the highs. This is right off of resistance out of 6. So if we happen to see this blast above 6, that doesn't mean it's instantly going to run. But what's going to happen if this holds strong and if the markets do squeeze up into the final 30 minutes? Well, that would give a TAL a little extra boost or kick in order for that to really make that squeeze above 6 that you would want. So I'm going to put this on our list. Looks a little flat, but it's obviously really strong here at this point, up over 11%, testing that 6th level here. Also, if you recall, TAL, I mean, from like a year ago, ended up getting crushed. So the question is this approaching historical resistance to where we could anticipate a bit of a gap fill? We're getting pretty darn close. I had to flip over to a weekly chart here. Looks like 582, 582. The two highs here back from the end of last year, that is. Seems like it was kind of contained right under that area just afterwards. 583, I think that may say. So, you know what? It broke above it recently here. It looks like it chopped around 590, but look at that. It held support pretty damn nicely right off that 582, 585 area. So perhaps this is in the running for a nice squeeze up to potentially begin the gap fill. I say gap fill because of the daily chart here, right? There we go. All right, so TAL definitely I'm going to put on our list here. Looks good. All right, now we're chugging along the bottom of the gainers list here. Probably not going to see really anything else. That one did take me by surprise. The TAL trade, at least there. I know Fausto had called it out after the market opened, but we took our eyes off it as a team afterwards, like after the initial run. We got the RAD trade, Rite Aid, just very flat. I mean, I don't know what happened here. It almost looks like a buyout, but I don't think that's what happened there. All right, let's hop over to the losers list here right now. We have Mob down big. Not a fan of the Mob. MobileCon Limited. I don't know. New IPO, just breaking down here. So you can't short it. Just move on. You have Domo, DOMO. Looks like it's pretty close to the lows here, roughly under 20 off of like 1985. That could be 1980-ish. It's beginning to make a bit of a squeeze off of 20. I could put this on our list, but it's not even like trading a whole lot of volume per minute. Trading a lot of volume on the day, 3.3 million shares, but it's only trading about like 4,000 or 5,000 shares a minute, and that number is likely to drop off before 3:30. So I'm going to pass on that, but you folks know I'm going to put it firm. on our watch list here. So AFRM, I'm going to put this on our watch list here. And folks, I always like to teach, right? I don't like to give myself the good pat on the back, what they call the Barry Horowitz of the world. Well, with that, AFRM, 8:52 this morning. I gave you the playbook. Coming off of bad earnings, I wouldn't be expecting a big squeeze on this stock. I mean, if it does squeeze, look for the drop, right? Coming off bad earnings, unless if the markets completely flew up. I mean, that's a possibility, but hey, I was looking for this short on Peloton yesterday coming off of earnings. That dropped off quite nicely. And with that, why not look to repeat on a brand name stock coming off of bad earnings like Affirm? So 8:52 this morning, Affirm, strong monthly chart level at 28.75. I'll be following that heavily today. I ended up shorting right from 28.71 as my entry. It was on a half-size position, like $27, $28 stock. So I wanted to do a full, but it dropped so fast. I was like, all right, I'll do half. That's fine. Fine by me. And then it ended up dropping down towards 27. I closed out at 27 or shortly above that price. I was looking for the bounce from there. I did take a small loss once it rebroke under 27, and I flipped my script. I said, all right, well, we're going short for the remainder of the morning here, it looks like. Ended up dropping down really sharply. I ended up leaving a ton on the table. I was not expecting this to drop all the way down to sub 25 at first. That's for damn sure. So, I could have done better on the morning trades. I am in this position right now, and I may look to even get out here because it did break, if I'm not mistaken, under 24. Oh, no, I am mistaken. So it didn't test 24 yet, did it? All right, so it dropped down to a low of 24.05, pulled back up a bit. I have a decent entry on this still, right from 24.67 on this entry that I'm in from right now. It's been pretty good to me today. So even if it does squeeze up here, it's not going to be the end of the world if I don't make as much on this one trade. I wish I could say I got out right off the lows here at the time, but perhaps this makes a lower high from this point and looks to actually make the test down towards 24. So I'm going to put this Affirm on our watch list. Perhaps during this meeting, you'll see me pull the trigger to get out on this trade. But I'll definitely be rewatching it, looking to re-enter. All right. Pays to know your levels, folks. And with that, actually, you know what? It's not just about showing off the call out there. It's about actually showing you what I was looking for on that monthly chart. So with that, this ended up making a nice little squeeze all the way down towards a monthly close at 23.70. Right here, monthly close from April, 23.70. Following month, the monthly 28.70. 28.70 there. Next month open, 28.74. And from there, that's what led to my monthly chart call out there. That was holding pretty strong, at least from this morning. Let me flip this back to a daily here. And actually in between, I'm just going to pull the plug to get out on this. Just to get the hell out right now. Rather make a little money than no money at the end of the day on that one. All right, we'll get back in on that trade if it gives me the chance. But let's see what else we could do here. Yeah, Dell on the losers list. Dropped off pretty damn nicely from this morning. Wow. Missed out on the Dell short, looks like. And for what it's worth, it's still pretty close to the low of the day right now, too. Right? It also is pretty liquid. A $42 stock. I'd rather trade a little bit cheaper, but this is within our wheelhouse. I like this Dell trade here. Let's see it continue to make the lower highs it's been making, and then to see the break of support, perhaps the test of 42 later on into the afternoon. All right, there's definitely more that's down, folks. So if there's anything else that you see that's moving with the market in any respect that you would want me to look at, type it in the chat board now. Let me know. For Catherine here, really briefly, I was going to get to that chat. Thank you, Carol. Catherine, just log out, log back in. Probably just a little computer software glitch from your end. But should be good here. Listen, it's a Friday in the end of August, pre-Labor Day weekend. We don't have a whole lot of us on YouTube this afternoon, and that's A-okay. But if you folks have anything, let me know. I may as well post my email here at the end of the stream just right now. Any questions that you folks have that you'd want to send over my way, I wrote a few of us back over this week. Finally back into my normal groove after my move to Florida. Even got this damn ring light right here. I don't know why it's so dark still, probably just from the gloom outside in Florida today. It was quite rainy earlier. Anyway, if you folks have any questions, feel more than free to email me, josh@c2trading.com. If you're interested in joining our live trading room, just go right down to the link on the yellow banner below right there to get yourself started. From Bill, he says, natural gas price comparison. USA $9 and change. Europe approximately $100 equivalent. I haven't checked in on this of late or of the last few days, but I ended up seeing that the euro ended up falling below parity with the US dollar. If I'm not mistaken, that's the first time since the early 80s, maybe 82 that happened. Crazy. And just obviously with natural gas prices in discussion as well, Europe is paying, right? All right, folks, I think that just about wraps it up. Let me just check Benzinga Pro lastly. I failed to do that there briefly here. Listen, the markets are dropping off, so I'm even looking more on the loser side of my scan to see if there's anything dropping off right now. There are a few things dropping, but they're small cap. They're easy, hard to borrow. It's been a long week, so you can't really look to short them. Maybe grab GRAB, but I don't think it's going to be a fast one. Yeah, this thing's not really looking too great. That's all right. All right, folks, that just about wraps it up here. Hey, listen, if you're not trading heading into the market close, enjoy your weekend. We'll catch back here on Monday. Quick heads up, I believe, for all of us inside the live trading room. I believe Fausto mentioned this from the morning. Heading into next week, no phase 3 class. We ended up actually pushing the phase 3 courses 1 week after. So going into the week following, Fausto will be doing his advanced class, the phase 3 stock course. I believe we had sent out emails, and we will continue to send out emails heading into Sunday. You could also check our calendar day to day right on your student portal. Like if you go on the Cyber Trading University portal and click calendar, you'll be able to see the updates just day to day yourself. So just keep that in mind too. All right, folks, I'm going to post the list and we'll see what else is out there here heading into the afternoon. I'll talk to you all soon.
Become a Cyber Group member today. Just click the link below and receive all these amazing products and a world of knowledge for just $9. Do it today.